Hello Blender folks, welcome back, or welcome the first time if you've never been in one of these lives. So we are at number 25, I'm epistemic-gnomes, and this is some developments I've been doing on the rigging of this character, the rig of this character, yeah, the rigging, the process of rigging this character, and this is well, as you see, I've revalidated some of her clothes. This character's name is Dorothy. It's for a 3D animation project which I'm still in the pre-production. So anyways, there's a lot of things that I've been working on, and this is a custom rig. And in this, where is the chat? Hold on. Something here. Yes. Yes, now I can see the chat here. Probably, yes, you can see the chat too. Alright, yeah, so just in case if you leave some message, I won't lose it. I will see in nearly real time. And if you guys have any questions or whatever, if you want to give you any opinion on rigging, maybe you are a rigger yourself or an animator, I'm here to share some ideas. But let's go on the rigging of this hand. So the title is auto key, and this idea is that I have these ideas I took from at least the X mirror. Yes, from that Demeter from the Cloud Rig feature set of Rigify add-on. Like he puts lots of he had the tutorial on Cloud Rig for Blender Studio, and he have many cool ideas on automation of those on some options here which don't have by default any shortcut. And then I've started to do this more than already what I was doing, but I like to mention it because then I have, this is very arbitrary, but I try to get something that makes sense. So X mirror for double side will be Shift X on pose mode. Now Shift X, sorry, this is, I'm pressing Shift Alt X, so they are similar. So this would just disable auto key option, which I think not many people use, or at least there are not many tutorials about this, or maybe just I didn't watch them very much, because usually I create my own bounce constraints like a lot of people, but why would I have, thinking about it, why would I make lots of bound constraints and complicated rig features if I can just do this? Of course I understand why would we want to have lots of customized bones everywhere and control rig everywhere, but in some cases like the hand, look how well this is working, right? And I can do a lot of stuff even with the thumb. I don't have to do really not a lot of things, and I can do this too, and I can pick this bone too to use this, but not this one. I then need to, it is parented offset, but I cannot move it with this option, so I need to turn it off with the shortcut, of course, much faster. And then I can, if just in case, I can pose this, could be useful, I think. And then we can re-enable, and then I can pose. Okay, this is not what I want. This is, wait, oh, it's grab, not rotate. Here is rotate, so we rotate and then we grab. So rotate if we want, grab, reset rotations, grab, rotate on x-axis, grab. Yeah, we can do a lot of things just with these options, but I'm developing the inverse kinematics features for each of these bones using the inverse kinematics panel on the on pose mode. So this is a little more complicated, but it actually not very, it's a bit complicated, but it's totally feasible. So I'm not sure here, I'm just making those values. So I'm locking lock I key for Y and Z axis for the three phalanx, or I don't know how it's called, the three starting bones there for the limbs or the fingers. And this one I'm leaving just the Z axis lock I key. This allows me that when these are all in chain, they are connected, and then I believe then it stops by there, this automation, because there is this change of the chain. And fortunately, because there is no I-key chain number here, imagine if this would ruin this option if by any chance this would go to the forearm, right, or to the wrist even. So, but it's not the case. So I can pick this, I can pick from this, I can do this small rotation, then I can do something like that. Of course, I can lock the rotations here. So maybe I just want the X rotation for this, and I lock all the others. Yes, for all these fingers, maybe I can do that. So let's keep Alt. Okay, let's see if that's correct. Yes. So now they do not rotate on the other, although this one is rotating. Oh, it's locked position. Would I? Yes, for these three ones, let's leave them, and let's move by the wrist. But that it doesn't mean they can still rotate, right? And they rotate quite a lot. So so you see this curve here that is happening. This is because of the limit X. So because the others are locked, I could augment the stiffness of the X, but I don't feel, I tested, it doesn't seem necessary for what I want to do. So currently this should rotate more, and actually, yes, this one might require some stiffness, so that this would allow this bone to rotate more. This is an idea, because additionally to this automated I-key features, I would like to have some automation of the fist closing. I'm not sure this will be elegant enough, because sometimes this is done by creating copy rotation bone constraints here, and they interfere with the auto IK so far as I've seen. So this is dangerous, and so I see what is prioritary. So far, I think it's good to have this opportunity here to enable, disable, and I can even pick all the hands at the same time. I can rotate. Now it's okay to rotate. It will rotate only on the x-axis, along the x-axis. No, around the x-axis. So that's perfect. It will be like local space, right? And so I can do that. You see that these bones are moving quite a lot, and maybe this would be a reason, sometimes this can happen, to give them some stiffness regarding. So if I lock their axis, their lock key X, their x-axis is along here, just as this one. So what will happen? You'll see that I won't be able to, yeah, so you see that part of stays in place. This can be useful, but I don't like this. I prefer, and I locked the X, the Z axis, lock key Z for this, because otherwise it would, what it does, I don't even remember, let's see. Okay, it's hard to see what the z-axis for these bones would do. It would be some sort of movement like that, inwards and outwards, and maybe this is some like this. Maybe this isn't something I would like to have these bones doing. Yeah, so maybe yes. I just want to see, can I have a lock and then limit? I'm gonna lock no, just this one. Okay, so we see what that, okay, so it's locked. Let's see if I can use this now that circular shape occurs for the selected bone. And this is for the z-axis, so this is the limit. I don't think I can limit anything here, although this feature appears, because it is locked, the z-axis. So I think this is completely useless what I'm doing here, but yeah, it doesn't affect. So what that would be is that I unlock instead, and now let's approach this to zero right here, and let's see if this can be used in an intelligent way. It seems that yes, this is valid, folks. So this is extremely powerful, and of course this is not only for auto I key, this option. This also works for inverse kinematics in general, right? I think both I key bone constraint and spline I key bone constraint would probably benefit from this thing. So this movement is interesting. However, I think it's too much. It's not what I yeah, let's leave it like that. But I want to augment the stiffness. So maybe this, even the Z is good to leave it unlocked, but with the limit Z, of course. And then, where is I barely see it. Oh, it's here. It is here. Okay, so yeah, this value can be sort of random, right? We don't, not random, doesn't need to be it's a more visual thing probably. So yeah, this could be nice. Maybe a little more for the outer side. No, it's not this one, it's this one. No, that's too much, so let's get to here maybe. It doesn't affect, it must be done before it reaches the, and now I still think it's a little too much, but we're getting around it. Yeah, something like that. Then but there is another feature, which is the stiffness, although it's grayed out for some reason. And what I'm gonna do is that I will augment the z-axis stiffness a lot, and this should mean that it will be harder to control the z change with the higher stiffness on that bone. Let's see, let's put the maximum stiffness. I'm not sure this is the case, but yeah, it feels like it should be affecting. Let's see now. No, not this. Yes, definitely we can very much see that is affecting the stiffness. So let's give a maximum stiffness. Yeah, it's subtle, but you see how fast this is nearly warping. And here it sounds that, let's move it slowly. Okay, and then yeah, it looks like the movement is much faster, so, but I cannot confirm it. It's really, oh, I forgot to augment. Yeah, I think it's true. It's true, it happens. So let's leave it like that, because it is possible to push. to drag this bone there, but it's harder, so that's good. Maybe I augmented the wrong one, yeah, because this has the lock, so the lock won't allow anything, so no I key lock here. The y-axis, the rotation of y-axis would be that this bone will manipulate also this kind of rotation. So this is very interesting, right? But there's too much here. So same thing, we will require not the lock. If I lock, you see, there I lose the rotation here by controlling whatever of these three bones, except itself it still rotates, so it doesn't affect self because the inverse kinematics is below, right, the F key chain, now higher on the I key chain, so it doesn't count here apparently. And so this is not evident, but it's interesting to know. Alright, let's continue in this setting. I want to, so no I key lock for the y-axis neither, but limit y. And now let's see, where is the, where should that should appear somewhere, but I do not see. Maybe it's inside, somewhere inside the bone. Not, what happened, what was that? Oh, the switching between the modes. All right, so I select the bones and I want to check. No, nothing, there's no indicator here apparently for this case. If there is, I do not see it, so let's do it manually. So it's something slightly close to 0, so very low values to both sides. We can make it equal, right? So let's see. Alright, so at some point it breaks because probably it's too low angle, so maybe I should give a higher value here. Let's see. Yes, now it gets more options, so still breaking at some points, causing some strange thing. And this one we'll also want to augment stiffness, because this part of the hand shouldn't move a lot, in my opinion, with this thing. So same thing here, let's give a lot of tons of this, and then if I push these two inside, it breaks the finger. Not breaks, but it makes some other, yeah, something non-intended thing. So this one, yes, so let's augment the, would that be the negative one? I'm not sure, let's see. This rotates positive, this rotates negative, so yeah, it's too much now probably, so let's see. Let's give it something like that, right? 90 degrees, it's too much. Oh yes, of course, 90 degree, okay. So maybe not that, maybe something like -60. Let's do this mirrored, right? Right. Okay, that looks good, and a lot of stiffness. So this allows us to make some cool stuff already. And let's see. The deforms here on the fingers are not very good. I'm considering, because what I did now is that there are some complications here. I don't have some things that I still have some questions, because I don't have a pole target in this case. So I would like that Oh yes, yes, yes. So I was even considering to, let's align everything here. I was even considering have the whole mesh of the hand adapt to the, yes, to the new position of the rest position of the bones, which should be aligned, because I'm using auto IK without a pole target. So you see now that this is aligned, I can do both the motions, and of course the deforms are happening that way because probably of the wrong location, right? Locations in relation to the wrong positioning between the fingers and the deformed bone. So yes, this is grave, but I can fix this easily. So that's why I needed that test. I would like, yes, because this is, I want this auto IK to be able to do both things, and for this to happen, the bones need to start aligned apparently. Otherwise, I can do this kind of thing, but I have tried, I wasn't successful. Let's give this back for a moment. I need yeah, I need to get this bone to, I never know how to rotate connected bones on pose mode. Okay, on edit mode they seem weird. Okay, so let's do this, but not on global. Let's use normal. No, it's not working because there's some, okay, all this. Okay, so now let's attempt something slightly different here. I rotate all them here. So there's this curve, right? The joint is making a curve there. So this means that the auto IK again won't be able to, oh, it can do, but it seems a bit more, it's a bit harder. So it can do it, but the more, I think the more I get the bones rotated, the harder it becomes to make this, let's see. Oh, this is the wrong one, probably. Yeah, so now I can pass through the other side easily. So I probably can, but it's more and more difficult. And same thing, so this makes a difference, a lot of difference. And of course, we can still do this, and then favorize the other side, right, of the possible rotate. Then it's difficult to break that joint on that, yeah. So that's why it's interesting to have, for this particular rig that I'm trying to do, it will be nice to have the fingers perhaps not totally aligned, right, in straight, but something more or less like that. So yes, they could be aligned, all of them here, but not there. There could be a small break, so that would mean that I'll favoritize this motion, this IK motion, and still be able to, in principle, the problem is I don't know what is the mechanism that, it's like some sort of inversion. Yeah, so for some reason this time it's as hard as ever it has been. So let's try to align here instead and see. Yeah, so this is okay. This is more versatile. Yeah, so they need, if they are all straight, sometimes it might break in the wrong direction, but a simple reset should be able to solve it. And then the cool thing also is that I can make those adjustments in rotation. It's not exactly that simple, because as this get this rotation up, this will try to respect that rotation up. No. Okay, so it's quite confusing, but in principle, having the bone straight, so this should be the new rest position for the mesh, I think. Even though for the deforms of the fingers, this will be a bad idea. So maybe what I'm considered to do, and making this rig a bit more complicated, is to have the mechanism bones like that, and the deformed bones like and the closed fists for the fingers. The idea is that because those fingers have to rotate 90 degrees, here they are in some sort of kind of middle position, sort of, but their deforms are still very bad around here. I didn't make much adjustments in the mesh topology last time I've touched, so probably this is making this worse, but it's clear the volume loss that is occurring there. This could be improved with many things that I left behind, but it's certainly the shape overall of a 90 degrees here could certainly, by my experience rigging, be improved if the starting position for the rest position for the mesh, right, that one on edit mode, is like this. So I know I could readjust the mesh of the hand manually, which I think in this case I'll prefer to do, but it's tough. It's a bit tough because I can really mess up the mesh, but we have proportional editing. There is this 3D cursor transform pivot point, so maybe we can use this with a mesh selection. And the idea is that the deformed bones will be bone constraint to the, so these things can, yeah, so what are those ones? I'll show you right now. I'll disable the auto AK for a moment. These were features so that I could control some rotation of the fingers through this bone. The problem, yes, they have then these bones had copy rotation, so you could make a fist pose with just this kind of controlling. But the fist pose can also or manipulate the whole hand, so this is pretty cool. But the rotations there, if I don't find another way, I've even deleted this because it was clear they were having some interaction, bad interaction with the auto I key. So I want to find another alternative to that. And yes, I know I didn't solve all those things for everything. This one on the, let's try to finish at least for one and then copy paste for all the others, these values, okay, because they are quite similar. Then we can make manual adjustments later, but I'm using this as like yeah, in this case it should be inversed, right? But like in here, but let's see. Okay, so that one, let's grab it back. auto IK, let's enable. Now alright, so we got this. For this one, this is much simpler, but we don't want all kind of right? We don't want this extent of rotation through IK, right? So this means that, what will that be? We see at the top, very important. So this is a negative rotation. So something like, of course, we'll have to reset these values later because, yeah, so sort of 90 is still okay, right? No, well, for a cartoon maybe it's okay, but 60, 65, 70, 65, negative 65. But we'll have to readjust these values anyways, because I'll change the starting position for a lot of things, the bones, the mesh. So maybe, but at least it will give a reference. So x-axis, which the others are limited, so that's simplify a lot. So stiffness, I don't think I want some stiffness for that bone. Maybe more stiffness to that, slightly more stiffness, like let's say, I'm doing this intuitively, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. 0.5, something like this, and this one 2. Let's see if that, yeah, maybe more stiffness on that one. So it will be harder for it to suffer transforms. Of course, something. Okay, so then there is limit x, because the other, it was too stiff maybe. Then what happens is that, yeah, so it cannot be too stiff actually. The deforms, don't worry, the deforms we know why it is, because of this. And this because these are deformed bones, they shouldn't be displaced like that. But so I also a rest position with the with more like a fist, clenched fist pose, will probably cause some issues on when the hand is open. But I think it would even be better to make the geometry of the knuckles better, and there would be volume loss probably on the fingers, but it's better volume loss as the finger raise, right, than when the fingers get closer to the palm. So because then they would sort of squash, right? And so that's I think this would be smart approach to rigging the hand, the fingers. I never tried it, so I'm curious. We'll see how fast I can achieve that. So far, hold on. Yes, okay, so far I need to complete this thing. Okay, so this circle, we don't need to care about the other ones, because you see those ones, they yeah, so they are lock IK access, so it won't do nothing. Let's leave them. And just curiosity, if you reset, they go to 0, but by default they start at negative at these values here, symmetrical. So be careful if you're trying to reset. This will reset to 0 and not to their original state. And so maybe there's a inconvenience they didn't know, they forgot. So something to let me note there actually. I have somewhere to place bug reports. Let's see. It's not a bug, but let's see some stuff that I need to negative 180 degree, and oh, I'm writing in Japanese. I'm studying restudying Japanese. So it was I have a switcher here. I need to change this so I can write in hiragana. It's like that, and I can create kanji through that, like here the ideograms. It's pretty cool feature, but I've already used like 2 decades ago when I was or so, maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and I was learning Japanese, just very basic stuff. Now I have a friend that wants to move to Japan and to study there, to study Japanese there. He's very interested in the character design, mechas, stuff like that there. And now I'm restarted to study my rusted Japanese Nihongo, and it's okay. That sorry about the off topic. So here, inverse kinematics panel, inverse kinematics panel, and then yes, I know what this is about. Reset, long reset to 0 degree. All right. So let's go back here. Let's go back to the windows and here. So let's reduce this arc here for the x-axis, the limit x option. And so this finger, let's take this example. Should it? No, this one. So yeah, it shouldn't. I'm using my hand. A cartoony hand could go really 90 degrees, right? So, but this rotation, it's positive. So let's give a max of 90, and we'll see that change here. This is very cool stuff. And then for the negative one, let's give it some. What was the other? For did I did that before? I think I was doing for these fingers. Yeah. Even this one, although it won't be affected by iKey because I don't have an iKey controller, it could have an iKey controller. Yeah, so that I could use these settings that I made for this. Cool idea. So I'm gonna implement in a moment. Just so you see, these arcs are similar, maybe slightly augmented. No, they are. Maybe this one is the largest one. So at least. Yeah, at least for the top. So this could be that, and then I've decided. So let's see what that will do. Yeah, so pay attention to the bones, not so much on the here I had to reset, not so much on the mesh. So you see that here I have some problem in the automation of the rotation, but here it's looking pretty fine. Yeah, you see. And so what about, yes, and then I could indeed do this and close. It's stiff. I'm not here. Why are you having difficulty moving this? It's too stiff, but it has no stiffness. And this also, let's give it this lock already. And so I'm having difficult to reach this rotation for some reason. Oh, maybe because of that. Yes, okay, this was it was rotating around the pivoting around there. So all right, so here I can do this manually, but of course it's fast, but sometimes we want. So what looks like is that this bone is like it's not rotating properly, and I don't know, maybe because I'm manipulating it, so grabbing, and so it has nothing. I'm not calling it for rotation. That's why I perhaps need but all for the others, they're mostly very, very fine, right? This rotation is too much for that other. Why is this going so far? I thought I have limited it and I gave it a lot of stiffness, right? Oh, it lost its X stiffness. Or okay, so this is getting okay now. All right, so stiffness very important, but maybe it's too much. No, that's already fine. Right, so don't look at the bones more than the mesh. So this looks pretty accurate. And then the cool thing, of course, remember, we can always do this kind of movement. Yeah, that is the most important, like the pressure on the table, right? And the problem is that I cannot do leverage here with without, like, you know, advanced foot rig, right? I don't have advanced, I won't be doing advanced fingers rig here, hand rig equivalent to that, so maybe I won't, I see, I don't expect to be needing leverage. Like that would be something like this. Imagine I maintain this thing. Oh, maybe I can do it in a creative way. Let's see. If I rotate, no, the problem is that I cannot move around the cursor. I don't know how I could do this because they are connected bones, so I cannot leverage anything here with maintaining this in the, or this joint in the same spot. Maybe there's a way to do that, but yeah. Anyways, this will be a future experimental problem. Maybe there's I could. The problem is that I'm not using a leverage system like for the. That would be, what will be a leverage system? This will be like such as this. Let's take the control bone here. This thing. So, like, imagine if that was the hand, right? The character is walking on its hand, on her hands, and then she can leverage the leg, the body, or at least the leg, with, because of the inverse kinematics. But this requires an advanced rig, which I'm not intending to do, just exactly for simplification. So this set, let's select only my selection set, and let's hide all those unwanted bones and deform tip body. Oh, these are tip bones. All right, that's it. So let's go back here. What I was considering, to create extra mechanism bone for the auto I key, hoping that it would work, and then this. Okay, those arcs are good. What about the stiffness? Okay, stiffness everywhere. This. Oh, the X, limit X. Okay, so I need limit X here. Besides the stiffness, we don't want to have this moving everywhere. Like, we want some limit for this, right? So what that limit could be, we can verify with this thing. I don't know why it have this other shape. Oh, because of the two axes are a limit, so that's why. Otherwise it's just one. As soon as there are more than one, they get some shape like that. This is like the combination of the two, like a geode, like a globe, earth globe, right? So here would be negative, that's too much, negative 45, and even that's very well deformed, but very dramatic. Let's see. This one we can be safe, it will be that value more or less, because these won't rotate like the fingers on the starting position. This palm of the hand will, or the hand will be the hand anyways, right? But even the hand itself, I could have a different starting position regarding the wrist, because then, but the hand deforms are usually quite good already, because thanks to bendy bones. So no, I don't need to. There's even twist feature, of course, because of bendy bones in the forearm, and even the wrist is a deformed bendy bone. So yes, let's go for that. That should be for the limit x something like, oh, it was positive or negative? Negative. So let's give it minus 40. That's already a lot of deforms. I think that will be fine. We can always move it, rotate it manually if we need extra exaggeration, but for these controllings it won't go beyond. So that's good. Well, maybe let's give it a little more. Okay, and then for the top, there is a too small now. Let's give it. Oh, this is the wrong bone. Here, let's give it maybe just the symmetric thing. Let's see. I don't know why it is getting so stiff, as we can't go up. That was happening already. The stiffness, maybe in combination of other things, is making it very hard. But actually, do I need all this deform of this kind? It's not very natural, right? The other one is more natural, so maybe this is really not the case. So let's just ignore a lot of things here. Maybe let's just max of 15 for this bone. Limit x, inverse kinematics panel, 15. That's about now. I think it could be slightly more. Yeah, so like 13, 30. Somewhere like there. Okay, and this is the level of stiffness that... But now let's see if I can at least make some... Yeah, so that part of the hand is moving too much, so this is... It says the stiffness is not helping, so maybe I shouldn't give all these bone, all these transformed, right? You see the stiffness, it's a lot already. Yeah, so maybe it should have something. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt even negative 20 and positive 20. Let's see. Okay, so not ideal, but I'm concerned that the deforms are too large, and so it's okay that it moves, but it's like there's not enough stiffness there, although there's a lot. I could always lock that, but then, yeah, if I pose like that, why not? We can just repose this bone on a keyframe, right? So that's not the end of the world. We can sustain this technique, this method, and so maybe there's lacking stiffness in this one, and that's why it is doing all that. Let's see. We'll see. Now the other bone will move anyways a lot, so it doesn't really matter. So the stiffness doesn't help that much. However, the limit are more powerful to limit, and of course the lock-I key would be the most radical thing. Okay, this is suitable. It's this, I think this is okay for this finger. Now let's give them, let's make an extrusion here. Actually, not an extrusion, let's add a new bone. Let's align with here. Let's call it this will be a control finger control. What's the name that I could give to it? Pinky, yeah, arm pinky, control arm pinky left. And of course let's reduce its size. Maybe we can do something like that. It will be a small bone, just a tip bone like that. Parenting for this, can it be parent there? Well, it could, because there's the inverse kinematic, so basically there it is. Now this is, you see, it allows for the rotation of, don't mind the mesh, but I'm being allowed to make, oh no, this is just because of the, yeah, so it's the Y stuff, Y axis on that bone that is allowing this kind of rotation, but it's fixable. We just need to make a better transform there. And yeah, mechanically this seems very good, and then, or feasible, right? I'm having some challenge here to attempt that. Yeah, so if I want to push that, I rotate here, rotate more. No, hold on. Yes, I can do that indeed. So here, and how much the rotation of this bone? Maybe it's getting, no, it's small rotation, but I'm concerned that it derotates. No, it derotates automatically. Can't believe that. So now let's say 0.6 as I do this, negative. Okay, it derotates, so that's a good thing actually. So this means I can, even though I could, for some reason I'm not being able to replicate one aspect of this rig that I wanted. Maybe it's something about the stiffness. Okay, you have this. These rotations of this bone are a bit too strange. I don't know why. Well, because it's the control bone, right? But its rotation don't really matter, right? I cannot do anything with this. Is the last bone on the chain, but I could at least give it some sort of dump track, maybe. Let's see. I'm afraid this will dump track here, and accept that on inverse, and to the, no, that's fine. It's still going crazy sometimes, so that's not working. Now on the yeah, it's still going crazy. Maybe you shouldn't do this bone constraint when, or maybe a copy rotation. I think this will create so locals, this should create issues? No. Okay, so there we go. But it's difficult. It's not pushing enough. So this shows that I need perhaps to give a little more angle to this, as this bone rotates positively on x-axis. So this, why not, let's augment to something like 25, and then why not, let's give it 25 like that. So no, doesn't help. So this bone seems too stiff. Maybe, oh, maybe it's that's it. Maybe this bone requires more so max, this is the max and it's 30. Maybe it needs more, like, yeah, and that's what was happening. And the negative, yeah, minus 90 would be fine. So it was doing this, but it was not allowed to do a lot of the other bend on the other direction, like here, but yeah, so it's not easy, but it's workable now. It doesn't push anymore, and this maybe, yeah, this has ended. So maybe I need, yeah, so that's good. Let's exaggerate here. This is the x-axis, -1, so growing more there. This one, oh, the positive, of course. Let's give it some more positive there. Yes, so yeah, now we should be careful about this motion, right? But at least we can do more of this. So very interesting, and I am also not satisfied with this. I think we should exaggerate this more, and why not even, so let's minus 33, positive 33. Never satisfied with this, even if it causes some major deforms on the hand, major, even if it affects a lot the hand, we can always repose that that bone, right? So I think this is fair. This should work, but what is not working though is this copy rotation. It's still going crazy anyways, so let's try. It is parented. Oh, I can lock rotations maybe, so let's reset, lock rotations. Let's see, cannot rotate here. Okay, so that was it was rotating because of the transforms I was doing. So now it is great, no bone constraints required. And now of course this would go to the chain, not the other chain, not this chain. This would go to the mechanism chain that I'm assuming I will require, but I need to go for the hand mesh reconstruction. So there is a way to pose. Of course I was using the method with the method of how to, there's, I don't know even the, it's on the mesh. So there's this method of duplicating the armature object, armature modifier, sorry, then pose. Okay, actually make a new pose, what would be the new rest pose, and that in this case I would do only for the hand. But the problem is that this affects everything else, and I think this is risky, but we can try. Maybe it's not that bad as I'm saying. But for doing that, I will, even to make this test properly, I would need to readjust the pose of this bone, so not really hard. Let's put this rotation here, because I need to repose the hand mesh properly, and for that the hand must deform naturally. So in order to do that, I need to fix these positions, at least to some okay degrees. It's okay if it's not aligned properly at this point. Yeah, lots of things are messy there that requires fixing. So if I go here, let's save for now. Of course I can, yeah, this doesn't matter, we're not doing I key right now, but why not? Let's fix that. And then, okay, let's use the panel. Let's disable Auto A key for now, and now let's repose the fingers. So I want them to rotate in a clenched fist position. The mesh, of course, is, I absolutely need to reshape. The fingers are too long, so you see there's a lot of gapping spaces there, so I want to fix that. So I need to reassess the mesh and the proportions. Unfortunately in 3D it was very hard, but for now it's a test that we are doing. Also I need to make sure that this, should I pause this? Yes, there's interpenetration here, so let's do something. Yeah, so then lots of problems going on here. I cannot close the hand properly on a clenched fist because of the, yeah, so let's see. So I have this, let's assume that will be the pose for the hand. Terrible pose, of course, because of the way the mesh is. Then I've just changed the bones here, but I'm very terrible afraid this is a very messy thing, because I have a lot of controllers elsewhere, and last time I've attempted this to, even for experimental things, everything got messed up, including some special drivers on some part of the advanced foot rig that I had previously. So let's reset some stuff here just in case. I don't know. Okay, but the pose seems to be neutral elsewhere, so this is a test. So let me make a new backup file here. That would be 8 torso rig, no, fingers rig, and the file I was saving as torso rig, I'll have to rename it also to make sure. Also, even this date is wrong, so let's fix that. Fingers rig, and that will be backed up. Let's cancel now. And so the method consists of, and will be, I think it would have an impact even to the eye. So this time I'm gonna be very careful about what happened. Yeah, this was something old that I didn't fix, but let's see. Oh, okay, so I still don't know what's that, but that doesn't matter. So we got this. We're gonna shift the armature object, the armature modifier, This is the new one, 001. So I apply Control A on the old one. Now this pose is crazy, of course, but then what I do is that I reset just for the fingers, right? This is not helping. Okay, that should be it. So not the wrist, not this hand. Only even these didn't change actually. So let's unselect and then apply. Selected as rest pose. Okay, so apparently it worked for the hand, but so my rest pose now is clenched fist, and of course as I open the fingers, do I have any? Yes, I still have some controlling here. The deforms will be different for the open hand, so this is something that I'll have to do experimentally. Let's see if it is how this is from this. Of course, the starting rest position is already very bad, so I'm expecting the deforms that will happen on this rotation will be even worse than original. And yes, you see here there was already accumulated volume loss and then more volume loss. So now it's not good on either position rest pose, because of course if I were, so this method is also not good when we are destroying the mesh through this. So I would have to fix that rest position first. I'll fix it from now, from here, right? Yes, so that is, and there is more problem using this method. I really don't know what happened there, but that was what I was expecting. That would be radical issues. Not only something that I found out is that the mesh, my mesh, for example, for the body, it got splitted because of the mirror modifier. Yeah, so you see it's splitted. No, it didn't split, strangely. That I need to be sure of that, because it always happened. Let's see. Okay, so it's clipping and it's merging. So is it possible that this got fixed naturally? I need to check here on. Okay, so it did. At least this didn't happen. So one less of a problem, but maybe it still occurred to some object. I am not sure. Is this the case for the skirt? No. Well, these objects were not directly affected. Although, no, they should have been. Oh, yes, I didn't. Okay, the body was affected, but I didn't do this for the clothes, although it might not be required because I didn't. It wouldn't be required to do it for the clothes, since the only thing that suffered the transform was there, but then other things were affected massively. Like this is probably of the complications this on the foot rig. So I need to investigate what was that happened there, but not on this file. But for some reason I didn't have the mirror modifier issue on the mesh object. The others, however, we can perhaps attempt to do it. Let's say if I do this here. So this I need to redo it for every object that is affected. So that will be a case. So Control A. Now you see the split. Yeah. So the cloth is ripped in the middle, and this happens because of some interaction of this method with the armature, no, with the mirror modifier, which is also in the cloth. So even with all this, I attempted everything. I attempted to put the mirror below or the stack or whatever, or nothing helps. It's just occasionally will destroy the, and you have to reconnect the mesh, otherwise this start to happen. You see there are two behind, it's happening there, so it doesn't happen everywhere apparently, but in many places. So for some reason didn't happen on the body mesh apparently, and that is certainly due to the foot rig, that the advanced foot rig, or and this is what I want to find out, because if I found out what causes all this, exactly what is the responsible for this, then it could be drivers, but my drivers here do nothing currently, so it is strange. Maybe I could go back and attempt to destroy all the drivers that may happen there and see if perhaps this happens again. Yeah, so let me do this here, and then we can make it for sure if it is okay. So I need mechanism bone, and I think that was it. So if I go here, let's get so I know there's a driver here, so let's destroy delete driver on both sides. Okay, then I know this bone here also have a driver. No, not this one, this. Oh, I've deleted the driver there too already. Side outer roll, this should have a driver. No, no driver here. Then no driver there. Okay, so it was just that, so it's unlikely it was the driver, because I have some rig properties. Let's see, custom properties. Let's delete the control body. I don't remember what are these. Helper body, I need to check. Heel, high heels, don't I have? I don't remember those. Most of them I don't remember. I have to check. Properties. Oh, it's here. Okay, so this is bone group, bones in front. Oh, just visual features. Okay, but nothing here is working anymore, because I think I destroyed bone axis. Yes, nothing here is bone shapes. High heels. Okay, and also that was not the case. So nothing is working there anymore. There's a long time I've done this. Need to remake. I'm not gonna make all of them anyways. So no, not want to be looking at all those bones. Just this. And so here I'm back before I did the method. So let's do it again now. So Shift D, Control A, then apply for. So it's a def bones there. Where are the def bones? Looks like they, oh, it's steep bones. They are, I put, because it's fingers, I put them on another layer, but they are still def bones, named as def bones. So these ones, let's pose, apply, selection, selected as rest pose. What if I okay, let's select just one. Maybe Maybe I can solve this just as the hand got deformed. Maybe if I select the deformed bones were displaced. Okay, so this will be a bit annoying, but I need to attempt this. I don't think if this will help. And okay, so these are deformed bones. These are deformed bones. Okay, let's do this. Apply rest pose. Okay, so apply selected as rest pose. So this works for the hand. Let's see again for the body if got. I don't see the body being splitted apart, so okay, this was saved, but nothing apparently helped there. Though the other side, let's see. No, the legs are completely crazy. What was good there was the leggings. Okay, so this needs further investigation, but it was not the drivers, and this was okay, I got a new idea. If I visualize the bones that are being affected by, as I look at all the bones on the lower body, so I can, let's hide everything here. Probably mechanism bones in general, and also deformed bones, also yeah, there's too many things going on there. So if I'm able to assess what is changing, it will become much easier to solve. So this might be a good experiment. So I just want this, but the thing won't allow. Also, let's hide the clothes. And I don't need to see the bones on all sides. Just one side, please. Will make things clearer. So now I can save it, because I have a backup going back there. Let's go on the method. Just remember the idea would be, if I cannot, I don't intend to use this method anyways, it's too complicated. I had to do this for the clothes every time, right? I'll just do it if really required, because, or if I find the culprit and how to avoid, but then still doing this for all the clothes and getting the mesh reconnected on the reaping event is annoying. So yes, let's do it now. Oh, I can't be on pose mode, right? Okay, but on object mode we see what will happen. So maybe I can add a new window here, vertical split, yes, and then let's look closely here. Maybe I'm able to see something. What is this bone there? Oh, that might be the reason why, not all that, this might be the reason why the boot was that strange. What bone is this? Leg, ankle, B bone? Oh, this is a helper bone, by the way, not a problem. Okay, so that's not the problem. Okay, let's go back here. Finally, let's do it at once. So what will be changed? Shift D. Of course, duplicating the armature. The bones don't change position, right? There's no change in position for any bone whatsoever on the foot. is just the mesh. Alright, this is interesting. Then as I apply here, but this mesh is terrible, right? So, oh, I see. That's what's happening. My rest pose, of course, I forgot. Sorry folks, forgot something elementary, but then I won't be able to do this. Okay, so the idea that was I have was not actually good, because this would be the idea if I could get the rest position right. Maybe there is a way to do what I want, because then I cannot pose this, as pose mode is useless, right? Cannot change pose when rest position is enabled, but it will fix everything from this change, right? However, what if that would be a workaround, right? But I don't want to reposition all the bones there just to make this process. What if I could have part in rest pose and part of the bones in pose position? Is that possible? That's a question. I don't know. I think it's not possible, but maybe that those panels never use, maybe protected layers, maybe that could be hold some solution, don't know. Anyways, what I can do here, what occurred to me, is that I could on rest position make still changes to this. So let's use this as a pivot point for, this is completely crazy, but maybe, so I'm gonna rotate this on the pivot point the way that I wanted, right? But I don't think that would be, yeah, this won't deform the mesh, right? Because this is, well, it does, but not in, certainly not in the way that I would like to. So rest position, this would totally destroy the, because then I would be creating the new rest position for the fingers, but then I'll need to derotate the hand. Yeah, so this is completely crazy, but maybe it can help in this assessment. So then let's rotate here, and then finally rotate this with something. It doesn't need to be totally accurate here. Okay, something like that. Alright, then on pose mode, if I reset, it's like that, right? But then I need to derotate. Wait, what is the rest? Okay, remember I have changed the rest position for the bones to this. But then on pose mode, I need to derotate this. They won't answer. I need to derotate these small ones too. Alright, something like that. Fine. Then I do not reset. I do not apply this as rest pose because this will change what I've already done here. I go on rest position. Then I do the crazy thing of which is already done, but I have to redo this. So it's not showing even, so let's do this. Apply as yes, but what I'm doing this, I'm just testing this. I'm not really interested in the hand right now. I'm just seeing if this will still cause wreak havoc to the mesh, to the object, whatever. So now I need to get out of rest pose. Let's see. Oh, there are some changes. Okay, so my rest position didn't change this time, and my rig didn't got disrupted. Okay, my leg rig, fine. However, this doesn't mean so I was able to protect the leg from the by using this. Was I able to protect the body from ripping apart? Apparently yes. It's still not even the head, the front of the face, no. So apparently for some reason it stopped occurring to the body on whatever I do, but it's often happened, and it happened to the clothes I've seen, the shirt. So here now, of course I wasn't able to do much things for the fingers, but the idea is, one idea is clear at least. So one thing that was destroying this process for me was because I had a different rest position for the mesh and the rest pose for the legs. So this was being compromised. This changed because the bones were, yes, it was because of this operator there probably. Then I applied the rest pose here. No, but wait, I was just applying for these bones. Yeah, so it was happening already in the beginning. So this is very complicated, but then I need to investigate a way to split this thing if possible. Maybe only scripting would do that, but I'll need to investigate here. And then otherwise, doesn't look like that other things got broken. Wait. Is that normal? Anyways. Skeleton. No, it wasn't. What was happening that... Oh, it's just okay. Not sure anyways, I've closed the file, but what seems clear now, at least I got something clear, so that I need to have this to match whenever I use that thing. It's not that hard, or I need at least match close enough. Yeah, but aligning all these bones to that, was kind of tricky. Just to preserve this should go there. So actually this will stick in place. I just need to put that there. Yeah, because it carries everything else. So actually would be just that. Maybe it's much simpler. Let's see. This is the bone that catches the foot. So if I place it there, yeah, there are still the rotation there. I don't know how this rotation would match. Something like that, and then this. Yeah, maybe it will produce some destruction. No, maybe it will cause some issues on the mesh, but not destroy as it was doing. So, okay. So, it's not optimal. So what I'm gonna do is really, fortunately, I don't need to be reproducing this thing, and it was just investigating. So I'm gonna repose the fingers, the mesh on edit mode for the mesh, whatever, and then same thing when I gonna do for the arm. I'll make some pivoting thing with on edit mode for the mesh, and that's it. So that's it, folks. I've dedicated a lot of time here for on something that was not directly related to the hand mesh, but I wasn't able to complete the rig, but we've got some good ideas on how inverse kinematics can work. The auto thing right here, just a resume of what we've seen. So there is a shortcut here that I've made. Shift Alt X and Shift X for X mirror, and Shift Alt X for that, and could have other whatever there, keyboard shortcuts automated. And so what I want to do on this hand finally is to fix those inverse kinematics settings for all the fingers after this, and then try to create some additional bone constraints to make some sort of automation, like using the scale of this bone, for example. And if it is not possible, I could just rely on pose library, right? Which is one of the best features out there, right? For 3D animation in Blender. So that's it, folks. See you next time. I'll probably go back in the hand thing and fix the mesh finally for this, and get away from all those issues there that are investigating here. Happy blending, have a nice week, and see you next, folks.